Everyone has a story to tell. It's my mission to tell it. Unscripted, unedited, we are on the record. Hi, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us. I'm Serena Fazan, and welcome to this episode of On the Record, where we hear incredible stories from inspiring people. Well, these two guys look like they're 10. Sorry, I say that so lovingly. But you what, are 27 years old, right? 26,
Yes.
27 years old?
We just turned 28.
20. Oh my gosh, 28. And you guys have created an amazing safety device. But first, let me introduce you guys. Rajia, Abdelaziz.
Abdelaziz, so close.
And Ray Hamilton.
Yes.
Your name is a little bit easier.
Yes.
Share the name of your company.
invisaWear.
This would happen to be a piece of invisaWear, right? Right here.
Yes.
So yeah, they look like regular necklaces. We even have them as bracelets, keychains. We even have them in fitness bands and scrunchies. But they're actually all safety devices, Serena. So they've got a button hidden on the back side. If you press it 2 times, it instantly alerts 5 people to let them know you need help. It sends a link to your live location to those emergency contacts in the event of an emergency. And it can also optionally contact 911.
That's amazing, guys,
Thank
honestly. And
you.
especially in a
Thank you so
world
much.
where safety is so important. We don't know where the world is going. Statistics, I have to say, are startling. I mean, it gives me goosebumps. You know,
It really
1 in 5
does.
women, right, are attacked. And I would say the number's higher than that.
That's
They're-
just so reported as
Underreported,
1 in 5
exactly.
women are
Underreported.
sexually assaulted at some point in their lifetime. It's unacceptable and it needs to change, and that's the exact reason why Ray and I decided to start invisaWear.
I love it. And so, and on the record, these two are friends. They are not dating. They are not a couple. But although you guys would be adorable together. I'm sorry. I do have a relationship show, so I have to go there. But right, let's start with you. Tell us how you guys met. You met in college, right?
Yeah, we met in college. It's actually a funny story. So we were both in engineering. We went to UMass Lowell studying electrical engineering, and Rajia studied electrical and computer science. So she was a double major.
Do you think their parents are just a little bit proud, guys? Okay. All right. Okay.
Yes, they're very proud. We're very grateful to have such support systems.
So you guys
But
are studying the
we were
engineering.
studying in school. We never meant to start a business. It kind of happened by complete accident. But the way we met, we were in a lab together, and Rajia was one of maybe like 5 women in the entire program in engineering. There wasn't as many women, and she came into class one day. She only knew one person. It wasn't me at the time, actually. And someone had sat next to that person, actually. So she ended up having to sit next to me, which was so funny. We didn't actually talk. We were both pretty shy at the time. We actually didn't talk for like 2 weeks. And then one day I was trying to do like a lab on my bench and nothing was working. And it was an intro class. I didn't really know anything about engineering at the time. So I asked help from the teaching assistant, and he came over and he looked at me and he laughed because I didn't know the answer to the question. And then his phone rang and he picked up the phone and he walked right away and he didn't answer my question. And I was so upset, and Raja's sitting right next to me, and I look over at her. I was like, oh my gosh, I hate that guy. He's such a jerk.
Oh my gosh.
We bonded over hating that
That's how
guy.
we bonded, actually. So we started working together after that, and who knew that we'd be starting a company together years later.
Right, and so hate led to like a loving work relationship. Rajia, as the mother of a daughter, though, and we're very proud of you too, Ray. You go, girl. I mean,
Thank you so much.
So you guys build this friendship, this amazing friendship. You're out. You go
Yeah.
out, right? And then what happens to you?
So this is actually really funny. So the continuation, that's how Ray and I met. We ended up becoming really good friends. We would always do our labs together, and we were both perfectionists. So we'd finish our labs and do our homework, and then we'd come in on the weekend and redo the lab. And all of our other friends thought we were crazy. They're like, we barely even finished the first lab, and you're going in to redo this lab. That was so funny.
And then
And then I had a scary situation when I was in college. Actually, I was at an event one night, and I thought to myself, maybe I should ask a friend like Ray, who was also at the event, to walk with me. But I kind of like ignored my gut feeling. I was like, oh, I'm listening to way too many news stories and watching too many true crime shows. I need to like relax and being really paranoid. So I said goodbye to everyone at the event and I started walking to my car. as I was about halfway between where the car is, Serena, and where the event was, a car full of guys drives by. They roll down the window. They start yelling some super inappropriate comments.
Oh my goodness.
At first, I kind of rolled my eyes because things like this happen to us women all the time. So I continued walking, and the SUV stopped, and one of the guys started to get out.
That must have been so scary.
I still get chills thinking about it till this day. Although I had my phone with me, you don't have that split second to call the police or call somebody close by like your friend Ray, who's still at the event. I ran to the car as quickly as I could, and I locked the doors. Thankfully, they left me and I was okay. I wasn't hurt. But for the next hour, I was shaking uncontrollably because all I could think about was I should have never ignored my gut instinct. I could have been that news story people watch. I could have been on that true crime podcast that people listen to. That could have been me, and I was extremely lucky it wasn't. In that moment, I decided I was going to go buy a safety device for myself and all the women in my life that I care about. But everything on the market was a big, ugly panic button. My grandmother, she's in her 80s. You know what she says about those ugly panic buttons?
What did she say?
She says she'd rather fall and not be able to get up than to be seen wearing one of those devices. And I don't blame her. Who'd want to compromise her dignity by wearing something so hideous?
A woman after my own heart. She loves fashion as well.
Yeah.
So that's where this idea was born.
Exactly. So that summer prior, I was doing an internship at Amazon where I was actually programming wearable devices. And I went to my best friend, Ray. I was like, Ray, I don't get it. Why are all these devices so ugly and big and bulky? If not even my 80-year-old grandmother would wear it, why are all these companies marketing them to young women like myself? So we decided to work on it as our senior year class project, and it took off like wildfire. So many people wanted one. Parents were coming up to us saying, hey, I'll write you a blank check right now, and you figure out how much this will cost, and you mail me one when you're done. And it was so shocking, but it really showed how big of a need there was. So many women I kept talking to kept coming up and sharing similar stories to the one I experienced. Unfortunately, not all of them were as lucky as I was, and it was so heart-wrenching to hear all of these emotional stories. But it was in that moment that Ray and I realized that we really needed to do this. This had to be beyond a class project. We needed to, after we graduate, dedicate to working on this project and bringing it to life. We were only 21 at the time, and everyone thought we were out of our minds.
And it, as you said, it has taken off. In fact, it has taken off so much. There's been multiple news programs and shows that have done stories and proof of evidence, really. I mean, and proof of action, I should say.
Yeah.
So why don't we go to one of those stories right now to give you a better idea.
It's like one step at a time, literally.
It's a tough road ahead for Janelle Valdina, who is recovering from a serious leg injury after a frightening crash 1 week ago.
And then my car hydroplaned on a patch of ice.
After spinning out, her car slammed into a guardrail on the Lowell connector as she was on her way to work.
I was kind of just praying to God to not die.
Valdina's phone was nowhere to be found, and other motorists who stopped to help could not reach 911.
So everyone's out and they have their phones and they're trying to like get service. And they're like, we don't have service.
That's when this small charm literally came to the rescue. The piece of jewelry is actually a panic button, a gift given to Valdina just a week and a half before the crash.
Somehow the invisaWear charm that my aunt got me was on the ground with me outside the car.
The 911 feature.
The invisaWear charm sends out an emergency alert to your designated contacts with your exact location, and also can help you or your contacts connect to the nearest 911 dispatcher.
I just double tapped that. I just kept pressing it, and it was my first time I ever had to use it.
Emergency crews arrived in minutes, and Janelle's father headed straight for her location.
I was just so happy that we were able to make an impact.
Rajia Abdelaziz is the co-founder of invisaWear based in Lowell. The company launched just 2 years ago.
I don't really think words can describe the feeling. You're over the top that this product you've poured your heart into has really helped somebody.
It's technology to help potential victims when reaching for a cell phone is not an option.
You never know. There could be an instance like me that your phone's not accessible, and that charm is. So I definitely think it's worth the investment.
That charm costs $129. There is no subscription required. It is proving popular with senior citizens, real estate agents, and unfortunately with women who are concerned about walking alone at night.
okay, so let's have Ray answer this. When you see all these stories about your class project, right, that becomes a business, how does it make you feel?
It's honestly so surreal to see everything, and honestly, it makes it all worth it for us. Like, we think about how hard we're working. We were working 17 hours a day. We didn't make any money at the time when we first graduated college, and we were just pouring our heart and soul into trying to create this. And we would always face criticism from people saying, oh, this is going to cost a lot of money to raise in order to develop something like this. Like, how are you ever going to do that? You're 21 years old. And Raj and I would always tell ourselves, you know what if one day we help save someone's life? Like, all of it's going to be worth it. And honestly, I remember the day we found out that story that we had saved someone's life, and it was a very emotional day for both me and Rajia. It was like all of those emotions and feelings had all like kind of built up to that one moment. And it was crazy too, because that story was local. Her family reached out to us. They said she was in a bad car accident, she was injured, she needed surgery, and she was in the hospital nearby. And Raj and I were like, oh my goodness, like, that's crazy. But it's also like, I can't believe it helped save her life. And then we're like, oh my gosh, like, do we go to the hospital? But, no, that'd be too weird.
Oh my gosh,
but we just care so much about trying to help protect people. So it's so surreal. It makes it all worth it, honestly.
Well, even just that one life. Well, we have so many more questions about the beautiful jewelry, invisaWear, the safety device. We're going to go to a quick break, and we're going to find out much more about it. So stay with us, everybody. We'll be right back.
Why is Precision Garage Door a name you can trust? Because of the Precision Promise.
Precision Garage Door, this is Sophia. How may I help you?
Your call is answered day or night by a live person ready to help.
That's our promise.
Our technicians will arrive on time in one of our recognizable, fully stocked vehicles.
That's our promise.
And there's never an extra charge for nights or weekends to repair your garage door. Quality service quickly from a name you can trust. That's the Precision Promise.
Precision Door Service, a name you can trust.
Label Swap is a retail store that you can bring in the items you don't want anymore. We will buy them for either a cash offer or store credit, and you can also shop the items as well. We carry anything from H&M, Lululemon, up to your luxury items like Gucci and Louis Vuitton. There's nothing really around like it here in the market. It is a fun, personalized experience.
Perfect.
Hi guys, welcome back to On the Record. We are here with Ray and Rajia talking about their incredible safety device that you are actually wearing, Rajia, right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us a little. We heard in the first half how a school project led to this amazing company. 6 years later, you're celebrating 6 years, right?
6
Yay!
years. That was last week.
Congratulations, thank you for flying in from Boston to be on the record.
Okay, pleasure.
I'm gonna get a little bit
us. We're so honored to be here.
No, thank you. Oh my gosh. Okay, so tell us a little bit more about the device and what common questions you get, and honestly how it works.
Of course. So the way it works is you download a free app onto your smartphone, and it allows you to select 5 people that you would like to alert at any point in time.
So it's the invisaWear app, right? So it's the free app, and
then
5
if you go
people.
to the menu, that's where it allows you to fill out a personal profile. You can set a photo, you can set additional information. So for example, if you've had a stalker before, or if you just work really late nights, or you're a real estate agent, you can designate all of that in the notes section.
Wow.
And that gets sent to ADT, the #1 name in security. And if you double press your device, ADT alerts the authorities, such as police, that you're requesting assistance. They have access to your live location, so they can tell the police exactly where you are, even if you move. My favorite part, Serena, is we have some incredible premium functionality that includes really great features like reassurance calls. So that night in the scary story I was telling you about, I didn't want to bother any of my friends or family members.
So for those who are joining us late, your scary story was there was a car full of guys that were saying some really horrible things, and one of them got out of the car.
Yeah.
So how scary? Yes, how frightening.
It was terrifying.
Yes.
But I didn't want to bother anyone to walk me to my car. I just felt maybe I'm being paranoid, ignored my gut instinct, which a lot of times as women we do that. We just dismiss our feelings. And as I was walking to the car, what I could have done if I had an invisaWear necklace is I could have pressed it, and ADT security would have called me, and an agent would have been able to stay with me on the line till I got to my car safely.
So do you press it in the back?
Yes, so you
so
press
it's right
it
there?
in the back 2 times right in the center. And then when the situation escalated and the guys were following me, I could have switched to video streaming mode, and I would have been able
on the device.
So yes, the device sends a signal to your phone, and over here there's a start live video call button. If I had pressed that, it would have started capturing video footage of all of my surroundings that would have been transmitted to ADT, and they would have had that as evidence to share with the police when they got to the scene, so those people could have gotten in trouble and learned their lesson to not do this to any other woman. But also the ADT agent would have been able to utilize language such as back away, we're contacting the authorities, if you hurt her, the police are going to come, and they would have been able to help de-escalate the situation.
Wow. Okay, so let me ask you really quickly, though, because you did not have your phone in this situation. Before you created, one of your concerns you said at the top of the show was that you couldn't easily get to your phone.
Correct.
So you don't necessarily need to have your phone. All you need to do is press the button.
So the phone doesn't need to be in your hands or anything. In my situation, the phone was buried in the bottom of my purse, so I didn't have time to get to it. I was trying to run to the car as quickly as possible.
With invisaWear, you just
This
press the button.
works within 30 feet. So even if they had taken my phone, because let's say I was able to go through my bag, grab my phone, obviously they wouldn't have wanted me to unlock it. They would have grabbed the phone, tossed it.
Yes.
Even if they grab the phone or toss it, you can still press your device and it will send up an alert.
Up to 30 feet. So Ray, let me ask you this. What, you know, ADT, of course, is such a well-known company. Yep. Are there plans to work with other security companies, or how did the merge with ADT come about?
Yeah, great question. So we actually reached out to ADT after we had a couple of success stories, because they're a huge, well-known security company. And we're super grateful that they were very receptive to working with us. They had actually already heard of us, which we were shocked about.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So we were already on their radar, and they loved the idea. They already have like some panic buttons that they sell, similar to like the ugly panic buttons that Rajia mentioned earlier. So they were like, this is much more stylish. We would love to try to back this, and we worked with them. They've been incredible to work with, actually, since the very beginning.
They're the number one name in security, actually.
I know.
They're the most trusted name in the country.
Believe me, I have gone on the record and said how proud I am.
Exactly. Thank you so much. But yeah, we're so grateful for that partnership. After we announced that we launched with ADT, we actually got other companies reaching out to us. So in the U.S., we work with ADT for Canada for 911. And then in other countries, we didn't have that functionality available because each country has different 911 systems. But there's a company called TELUS that's in Canada, and they actually acquired ADT in Canada. So they were super excited that we partnered with ADT. They approached us, and we're very happy to announce we just announced our partnership with TELUS a few months ago, and now we work with TELUS with 911 in Canada.
That's wonderful. And are there plans then to also go then globally, I would imagine?
Yeah.
I mean, why stop? You know,
We're just getting started.
Yes. So tell us some of the frequently asked questions that you have to, because you have to replace a battery. I mean, how does it work?
That's our number one asked question, actually, is do I have to charge it? So we spoke to thousands of women while we were developing this product, and we said, what do you think? Do you want a rechargeable battery? Do you want a battery you can change? And most women actually said they don't want a chargeable battery because they were so worried that they'd forget to charge it, and the one time they would actually need to use it, it would be dead. So we specifically designed it to have a long-lasting battery life. So we guarantee that the battery will last at least a year. Sometimes we see it lasting closer to 2 to 3 years, actually. But we get a lot of fans who want to demo to their friends every single day. So in that situation, it would only last you a year if you're doing a lot of demonstrations / testing. But once the battery dies, you purchase a replacement charm, and the replacement charms are discounted. It's almost like a Pandora model, actually. We find a lot of people buying them as gifts for their daughter or their wife, people that are special and important, and then they buy them a new design a couple years later when the battery dies.
So once the battery dies, though, you do need to get a new bracelet. You can't go like, you know, like when my car battery dies, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't even know how to replace the battery. I've got to go to the store and get it replaced. But you just need to buy a new one.
Exactly.
But at a discounted
And
rate.
because you're an existing customer, you just reach out to our team and they give you an exclusive discount.
That's wonderful. Now, let me ask you this. Say, you know, it's a free app, as you said, but, you know, maybe I don't have ADT anymore. Maybe I have another security company.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter which security company you have
it doesn't
personally,
matter at
right?
all.
Correct,
Works
yes.
with ADT regardless if you have them or not, and you don't need an account to set up with them. You just set up the app and you're good to go.
So is it, which is great to know, and the app seems very simple to operate. I mean,
Thank you so much.
so clear. Are the devices waterproof?
They're not waterproof yet, but that's one of our biggest requested items.
Oh,
So
really?
the viewers can sign up on our mailing list in case we do launch waterproof items in the future.
Look at that. Like, I feel like I actually feel proud of myself as a journalist asking that question.
Great question.
So, well, coming from a couple of engineers, I'm sure you will find a way to make them waterproof. What are some other questions that you guys get about the device?
Great question. I'd say the number one question we always get is people see that and they think it's an amazing idea, but they always worry like, oh my gosh, I fiddle with my necklaces all the time. I'm going to accidentally press it. So we designed it so it's very difficult to accidentally activate. All you have to do a rapid double click, and it's a firm click. So you'll hear it too when you click it. And even if that's, you're still worried about that, there's a notification that pops up on your phone, and you'll have 15 seconds. You can enter a 4-digit PIN that you custom, and you can just cancel it, and that's totally fine. And even if that's not enough, ADT will reach out to you, and they'll call you, they'll text you, and you can answer the phone and say, oh, I'm so sorry, I was just testing, or it was an accident, and they'll cancel it so the police won't show up. But it's funny, sometimes people get excited if they accidentally press it and they didn't hear their phone. Police accidentally showed up to where they were, and people actually get excited. They're like, oh my gosh, I know it works, that's amazing. They knew where I was, so. But yeah, that's probably one of our most commonly asked questions.
Well, I was going to say, you guys thought of everything, because seriously, I do have a tendency to, typical girl, you know, that will play with their bracelets or play with their necklace. No, that is fantastic.
Thank you.
And do you have plans on, so you have a necklace? Do you have anything, do you have any other?
We actually have a bracelet that we got just for you.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
May I?
Wow, yes. Oh my gosh, it is beautiful.
Thank you so much.
I mean, and they're,
Try it on.
I am so excited. It looks like, what are those? Because we don't want to call any other designers, but it looks like just one of those.
The bangle bracelets that are super popular.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
No,
trade in
it's
if
so.
you have other bracelets.
Guys, I just love it. And, you know, for me too, I'm often out and about and visible. So this is, and I have a 15-year-old. So I need to get one for her as well. So tell us about that. Then
gifts.
how do you sign up? How do you get them?
You actually
I love it.
can
And thank you
buy them
again.
right on our website. It's www.invisaWear.com. And we're also available on Amazon. We also recently launched on Sam's Club online, so Sam's Club members can get an exclusive discount.
That's so great.
Yeah. And it's not just jewelry. We also have keychains as well. So for unisex options, you can never be too safe. So we have keychains.
Can I see that for 1 second? Because that is, you know, I was about to say,
This is
I know
actually
we
one of our
always
new
worry,
ones.
we always worry about, you know, we always talk about girls.
Yeah.
But you know, but men are
Absolutely. It can happen to
are
anyone.
victims too. So this is, so you have this option to put
Yeah.
on a keychain.
On a keychain, it's perfect. No one would ever know. I keep it with me always whenever I go anywhere.
And you have it engraved
I
with
have
your
that
name.
custom engraved, yeah.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
So exciting.
There are
That's
so
a new
people.
collection.
We
That's
just
we
launched
just
custom
launched.
engravings.
Oh my gosh. I mean, these are just so much more personal, I think,
Yeah.
like when you can get things
Yeah.
engraved. That is
Yeah.
fantastic.
Thank
And do
you.
these run the same? Are they all 129?
The
engravable
custom
ones.
engraving, there's a slight increase for the engraving fee for that customization.
But we get all kinds of personalizations. People buy them as anniversary gifts. They write "I love you" on it, or Rajia plus Nick Jonas, let's say.
Oh yes, are you throwing it out there? But I think he's, he is
Sorry,
taken, right? Priyanka Chopra, right?
I'll
Priyanka
find a
Chopra's
new
taken.
celebrity crush. And then you can write your anniversary date on it. We get them a lot of bachelorette gifts, so people buying them for their bridesmaids.
That's wonderful, girl. You are blushing though. I mean, like, why don't you just, I know we're talking about safety.
Watching.
Well, why don't you throw out your celebrity crush, because you just never know in the future. Do you have one other than when it's available?
None that are available. Only Nick Jonas.
You guys never know. Like, someone's watching a show, and you never know. No, both of you are so wonderful. As we wind up the show, any words of encouragement that you would have to young people out there on pursuing their dream?
Honestly, don't take no for an answer and continue believing in yourself. I can't tell you how many people told Ray and I we were out of our mind to try and start a company at only 21 years old. But Ray and I kept telling ourselves, what if we do bring this product to market, and what if one day it saves someone's life? And now we've sold millions of dollars worth of product, and we've helped save so many lives. So we're so thankful, and we're so glad that we believed in ourselves and didn't listen to people who said we couldn't do it.
Yeah. And I would honestly say too, like, a lot of people say, oh, I have this great idea, I don't know where to start. Like, my biggest advice is don't be afraid to ask for advice from people. I feel like a lot of times people are afraid of being vulnerable and talking about like failure, and don't be afraid of failure, and don't be afraid to ask for advice. Like, I've never had someone come to me after I asked them for advice and say, no, I'm not going to be willing to help you. They always are willing to help out, even if they don't know the answer. They're always willing to help introduce us to someone who they think can help us. So that has really gotten us to where we are today. So I can't recommend that enough.
Well, I have to tell you guys, you absolutely made my day, and I love my team here at
our
Red House
day.
Streaming and TV Communications that have really fulfilled my dream of meeting unbelievable people like you and sharing your stories on the record.
Thank you so much.
Oh gosh, and thank you so much for being here. On that note, if you have a story and you want to come on the show, just email us at production@redhousestreaming.com. You never know. Morgan Bars, we've got to give her a shout out, because it was Morgan who emailed us to get you guys on the show. Then please share the show. We're on multiple social media platforms, as you see there. We're also on Roku with really, really big plans to expand. So a little prayer, a little prayer for us. But Ray and Rajia, once again, thank you so much for coming on the record. And I love my present.
Thank you. We're so happy you like it. We hope you never need to use it.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. On that note, stay safe, and we'll see you next week.